call is a call to... This is just the first thing that comes to mind. It's a call to adventure. Yeah. Call to adventure. So essentially, which means growth and expansion and healing and exploration within, which is this vast territory, essentially, and this will culminate as a without, too, in many ways and shapes and forms. You know, it's funny, in Star Trek, they say that space is the final frontier. I disagree. I'm pretty sure there is a vast frontier within everyone and everything, and my goodness, you'd be surprised. And hey, who's to say, maybe when that frontier is explored and more integrated, that just might open up the another frontier. That seems a little kind of far away. Who's to say? It might. It could. It might. I don't know. But it might. And if one, and essentially the call, you will sense it. It will. And signs may appear, and one may continue to just bury their head in the sand, or whatever the case may be, like, oh, nope, it's not real, or whatever the case may be. Well, these are all signs from essentially life itself, and your own underlying psychobiology, and it's kind of a big deal. And, it's, there's a mandate there, but it's, and there's kind of important things attached to it, and it's really not so great to deny it. I'm not even sure if I want to get into that. I'm not trying to frighten anyone. I'm just saying, why would you? To begin with, what is so great about whatever a horrible thing that anyone is doing that there isn't room for improvement? That's one avenue or area of denying the call. I suppose another is if a situation where one is very guilty or culpable of doing something very criminal. And perhaps it's something criminal that they feel that they either participated in under some false pretenses and are afraid to come forward, or were behind it. And let's just say that what that action or series of actions really was kind of a big deal, and it really fucked some things up big time. And the only way to kind of clean and clear things on a certain level is to come forward and disclose what actually happened, why it happened. This is a way of karmic clearing, if you will. Alchemy. It's an alchemizing of the energy, because energy is a thing, and it's kind of a big deal, and I don't expect anyone to take my word for anything. But if you don't, what I would appreciate is if you would, I don't know, just run it through your own systems there, see what pings on your radar, and of course, if one is not accustomed to doing this, well, yeah. It's just probably, it's just gonna get lost in the murk, but I don't know, what would that be like if somebody's not accustomed to doing that? Probably you probably just feel more anxious than normal, or something, or more depressed and more anxious than normal, and a need for more distractions or something, and I suppose depending on the severity, blame shifting. I don't know. Do you like to take your frustrations out on other people? That can be a manifestation of it as well. Essentially, it kind of boils down to something else as well, and that is, it's one thing to don the judicial attire and cast well, not cast, but identify certain patterns of fuckery within others, but it's something else entirely too. As a wonderful man and patron of the arts stated some years back, which was to first and foremost check yourself before you wreck yourself. And this man is Ice Cube, and it wasn't Ice T, but no, it was Ice Cube, and yeah, it was Ice Cube, and because for one, that's a refinement process, and it's not comfortable, it's not fun, but you can get accustomed to it. And you know what? Here's a little bit of incentive. My goodness, is it so much better to check oneself and their own shadow aspects and elements first in private before, oh, I don't know, somebody else gets wind of them and calls them out in public.
Wow.
It's better. It can be a lot better. So that's some incentive. Not to mention the growth that comes with it. The because it's like I don't want to incentivize it too much, because if somebody doesn't have the underlying just kind of doing it because I don't know, that's just the right thing to do. Oh, I know, what a crazy thing to suggest. If they don't have that kind of underlying framework to begin with, I'm not really sure I want to give anybody too much more. Because those are important. I don't exactly want to hand out
classified
blueprints to. I'm not even going to say what it is because it'll just sound. I'm just not going to say it. I'm not trying to weaponize. Well, I'm just not. Anyway, I'm just not. It's important. It's important to have these regulating functions first, and well, what do you know? It's as if life itself seems to kind of work in these cycles as well, and the underlyingness and the unconscious and the language of the unconscious. These are all very important things, and I don't know. It's but at the end of the day, and cycling back, where if you get the call and you decline it. No, there's just, hey, skepticism, healthy skepticism is a good thing. Now, weaponized skepticism, that's something else entirely, but healthy skepticism, yes. However, the cultivation of your own internal gadgetry can help significantly with this. There's also the detoxing of it and everything else under the sun, because there's been the sickness. The sickness has been a thing for a very long time. I don't know what else to call it. We've been tooling around with some terms lately to call certain things, and I don't know. The sickness is the best I can come up with now. It's the least. It's one of the least offensive things. This would be things that are in alignment with the whole cluster B disorder situation, but it's not just that. It's all the crap that emanates from it and from within it or outside of it, because essentially cluster B people are kind of inside out because they project everything outside of them. Sort of. That's just this is kind of like why they feel empty or something. I don't know, something like that. I don't know. I really don't want to feel around too deeply into it. I've done that too much as it is. Not into it. Just not into it anymore. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what one's excuses may be to retcon, the call. The call might be a simple thing to start. It might be to apologize for something horrible that one has done. Or any number of things prior. But to elect continually, to continue burying one's head in the sand, you can disbelieve in gravity all you want, but if one has got some idea that if they're just convinced enough that they can fly by just saying it over and over, I guess instead of learning how to or something, but anyway, let's just say, they're just saying it a bazillion times over and over, and then they jack themselves up on some kind of neurotoxin and climb to the roof of a building and jump. Well, chances are that they're not going to fly this time. And Yeah, you could say, yeah, gravity isn't a thing, and then, who's to say what gravity might actually be? But you know what we can do? We can observe its effects. We can observe its effect, and there's a number of other effects that we can observe as well. And if you're tuned in, and yeah, it's that's part of the call. It's tuning in, I suppose you could say, and the discernment though, because there's some tricky shit, and there's some obfuscations, and yeah, everyone is kind of important in many ways, in shapes and forms. And I think a lot of problems are due to this kind of nihilistic attitude that's been going around for quite some time. Like, oh, nothing matters. I am an insignificant personage of non-interest floundering around. Well, you'd be surprised. And one can live a self-fulfilling prophecy, and oh God, it's just so much connected to so many things. It's just, I don't even know where to begin. I suppose there at the call, and that declining the call is kind of not so great. And you could, so it's okay, so let's say hypothetically one has been declining the call for a very long time. And all of the karmic, well, not all of them, but so many of the karmic repercussions have happened. And the person burying their head in the sand is convincing themselves that one thing has nothing to do with the other, regardless of the fact that there's just been signs everywhere. Not to mention things within their own minds and bodies screaming out to them, for fuck's sake, dipshit, listen to what I'm telling you. And no, I don't know what it is. I don't understand that kind of stubborn insistence. And not to mention the litany of pain and suffering and misery that comes along with it, and ailments, essentially. And that's really something. It's really something. You could even end up having somebody in your life actually spelling this out to you. And still, just nope. All for what? I know it's not just fear. Is it an ego thing? Is it a fear of admitting being wrong temporarily? Oh, God forbid. God forbid. God forbid. God forbid. And is it approaching somebody who's going to hold this over your head? Oh, no, it isn't? What do you know? So, again, I don't understand. And, yeah, it's really something. And, yeah. It's nothing arbitrary. There's a reason for an impulse to clear the air, because, wouldn't you know it, it actually does clear the air, kind of literally, in so many ways, in an energetic kind of way, and paving over this shit. Well, that is the path to Cronenbergian aberrations, if you will, in the unconscious, and some. So, there's some incentive to, quote, do the right thing. It's not arbitrary. It's not some stupid morality thing. Oh, whatever. I don't know. Some Nietzschean idea or something. I don't know. I'm probably not representing him correctly at this point. I'm not, come to think of it. Anyway, but it's not arbitrary. That's what I'm getting to. It's not. Why don't you check that out for yourself? Scan your own mind and body. See if anything correlates to participating in a horrible thing that has yet been the air. And look, I understand there are some situations where it's very dangerous to clear the air. You might be dealing with some fucking maniac. I don't know. Or just bad people in general, in bad faith. And, I don't know what to tell you in those circumstances. That's not the kind of circumstance I'm talking about right here, so I don't know. Yeah, I'm just saying... ignoring the call, it's kind of ill-advised. Because it can kind of be a segue to more... yeah. And if one is, let's just say, dissatisfied in their current incarnations, then maybe it's time to try something a bit differently that would be less cumulatively shitty. Yeah, something like that, I guess, I suppose. Why not? Anyway, that's probably, I don't know. So anyway, this is the call. The call. It's not great to ignore the call. And, oh God, and for those who just keep doing it repeatedly, across the board with everything, I don't even know what to, I don't even know what to tell them. I just think you even can, what's the point? Tried that before. That's... Yeah, what are you gonna do? Not much, essentially. Alright, I guess that's it for this one, and thanks for tuning in. And until next time.